Thank you everyone for joining to this webinar. So a quick intro about myself. I'm Sateesh. I work as a blockchain engineer at XDC Network. I do work on like developing dApps and kind of researching on the latest tech stacks to be implemented on the XDC network. So today we are going to talk about account abstraction. So I just have a quick like 5 to 10 slides followed through by a demo, and then we'll have Nikhil from Etherspot who will be running you through the various components of Etherspot. So I believe at the end of this session, you would be able to have an understanding about what account abstraction is all about and how it's going to actually make the user experience and Web3 onboarding seamless. So let's start with the introduction. So before diving into account abstraction, I just want to give you a quick introduction about XDC Network. Just 2 to 3 slides just for you to understand the specs and capabilities of the network. So XDC Network is a layer 1 EVM compatible enterprise grade blockchain solution. So we are up and running since 5 years. So, and you can see some of the like interesting stats about the network is we have achieved like 2000 transactions per second with less than 2 seconds block time and with a near zero gas fee. So that's one of the major highlight about the network. So you can do transactions. It's like similar to like you can just think of like it's a zero cost, but yeah, you're just going to pay a minimal fee. So these are some of the stats about the network. And so XDC network, since we designed it for the enterprise grade, so the consensus mechanism is more safe and secure. So the consensus mechanism we have is XDC 2.0, which requires like 2/3 of the master nodes to sign each block. So currently we have 108 active master nodes and more than 200 standby nodes. So this makes the network more secure with the help of hot stuff consensus mechanism. And just a quick view about some of the major dApps, interesting dApps built on the network. So there is like a big list of dApps which you can go through zinfin.org, ecosystem dApps. There are like a lot of dApps being built on the network. But these are the some of them to highlight in the RWA space, DeFi, gaming, and the education and the medical space. So yeah, let's dive into account abstraction. So before going into actually what account abstraction is all about, just let's consider like what are the challenges the Web3 industry is facing currently. So I would like to highlight 3 of them. First one is the private key dependency. So when you want to log into any of the Web3 platform, right? So you need to have a wallet installed on your browser, like for example, XDC Pay or MetaMask. You need to save and securely store your private keys, and you need to have the seed phrases, and all those needs to be done. So there is a that's of a major concern, and that's the first step for any user to come into the Web3 platform. And this makes the onboarding process very difficult, because if you lose the keys, you lose all the access to your platforms and the funds in your wallet as well. So the other one is the gas fee complexity. So as a user, I log into a platform, but still I will not be able to use the platform once you even have the MetaMask wallet, right? So any of the platforms, like any blockchains you consider, need to have the native token to be paid as a gas fee. So that's make the process still more complicated. And currently, yeah, whatever we are talking about, the XTC Pay or the MetaMask, those are called EOAs, right? So they are externally owned accounts, and there is like a limited things you can do with it, right? So if you're going to accessing a DeFi platform, you need to like do multiple steps. Like for example, you need to approve a transaction and then you need to submit a transaction. So that makes things more complicated, right, for a user. So if I want to onboard a platform, it's not just like simply I can do it as similar to a Web2 platform. And these are the challenges the current users are facing. And there are some solutions to it which account abstraction can address. Account abstraction actually creates something called smart accounts. So you don't need to have again a MetaMask wallet or anything, but account abstraction gives you a flexibility to have smart accounts. And account abstraction, along with wallet infrastructures like Web3 Auth and Magic Link, makes the process more seamless. So which means like when a user onboards, it's just like matter of seconds. You can just use your Google or any of the social logins to be onboarded to the platform. So that's one of the power of account abstraction, which is called smart accounts. You will be learning more about that in the upcoming slides. And the next one is gas abstraction. So account abstraction gives you a capability to have paymasters who can pay the gas fee on your behalf. And that gas fee will be like paid by the platform you're accessing. So which makes the user process more simple. So the user need no need to have the native tokens to be paid as the gas fee, right? So that makes the process more simple. And the power of account abstraction is programmable transaction, which means you can actually code the way you want your wallet to work. For example, you can have like whatever you do on EOS, right? It's just based on your approval. You do the transactions. But when you talk about account abstraction, we have something called smart accounts, which is actually a smart contract, right? So as it's a smart contracts, it's actually flexible to have your own logics. So you can say like, I need these two addresses to sign the transaction, or I need this to be done for particular transactions to be done. You can basically specify your custom logics. And there is more enhanced security. As with the account abstraction, we can have like time locks and other limitations. For example, you can if you're using a DeFi platform, you can limit your spendings per day, like how you do with your bank account. Simply as simple as that, you can limit your account. Say I want to restrict like 1,000 tokens for this particular transaction or a particular day. So which makes the process more like convenient for the users, and everything gets abstracted. So that's why the term account abstraction. So it's the account, but it's completely abstracted from the user. So yeah, this is what we discussed so far. Like traditional EOA accounts like XDC Pay or MetaMask, any external wallets want you to manage the private keys and pay the gas fee. And yeah, you cannot define your custom logics, and it makes the process more tedious. So yeah, jumping into the components of the account abstraction. So there are like majorly 5 components when you talk about account abstraction. I'm not going to dive very much deeper into that, but just to give you a high level understanding how the flow is working when compared to the normal transaction on any other blockchain. So in account abstraction, we have 5 components. The first one is user operations. So when you talk about user operations, so this is basically it's something like a normal transaction, but it has a lot more other details when a user submits a transaction. Um, you have more details when you compare to the normal transaction of the network. Uh, then this user ops goes to bundler. So the bundler gives you a way to bundle the user operations. So what are happening so far? It's not onto blockchain as of now. So the first user operation comes from the user, and then it goes to a component called bundlers. So the bundler is going to actually bundle your transactions, which means even you can submit like 2 or 3 transactions together. So the previous example I spoke about. So in a DeFi platform, you can combine your approval and the payment steps both together. So which means like the pop-up which user gets like 2 or 3 times, he need to approve it each and every time on the EOS is completely eradicated. So this has been given to the smart contract accounts, smart accounts basically. So the bundler is responsible for bundling the user operations, and then we have the entry point contract. So for any of the blockchain network, entry point contract, it's basically a singleton contract which validates and executes the user operation. So when you're submitting a user operation before it going on chain, so the user operations has to be validated, like whatever checks we do in a new usual like transaction. So entry point does similar kind of simulations with the user operations which has been submitted, and then it makes sure that you have necessary like a gas fee to pay for the transaction, and then entry point contract submits the transaction through the mempool. And after which we have a couple of components like called paymasters and aggregators. So these, the first 3 are the must-have components for any of the account abstraction infrastructures. But when you talk about paymaster or aggregators, it's a good to have, and it provides you more convenient and flexibility. So the paymaster is responsible for sponsoring a gas fee. Say as a platform, I implemented account abstraction along with paymaster, which means like the user no longer need to pay the gas fee when they are doing any transactions on the network, and that particular fee will be bared by the platform, and which in turn be collected from the user in terms of the transaction fee. So this makes sure like the user no need to have the native tokens, And aggregators is some one more component good to have, which aggregates the signatures of all the transactions from the user ops. Like we might have multiple transaction, instead of like validating each and every transactions one by one. So aggregator like basically validates all the signatures in one go, and which makes the process more seamless. So this is a quick flow diagram, and you have yeah, better flow diagram here. So these are the components we spoke about. First we have the user, and then we have the bundlers, followed by the entry point, paymaster, smart contract, wallet on the blockchain. So the user submits a transaction, so the bundler combines the transaction and submits to the entry point, which is going to simulate and validate the transaction. And if there is a paymaster, it's going to see if the paymaster approves the gas fee, because even though you're on a platform which has paymaster, your address needs to be approved by the paymaster to be able to sponsor the gas. So that's the step next. Once the paymaster approves, it's going to the smart contract wallet and confirm the execution, and then it returns back the approval to the bundler. Then bundler, now having approved from the entry point, the validation is done, and the paymaster confirm like the gas is going to be paid by the paymaster for the on behalf of the user. So once everything is confirmed, the bundler is going to submit the transaction on chain. And this process, all these processes is going to happen like within like a fraction of seconds. Like it's not going to take like 5 or 10 seconds or like a minute or so. It's going to be like so fast. Like even this happens in a real time. So you'll get to better know the flow and what's happening in the backend when I walk you through the demo. But on the whole, this is the all about the flow of account abstraction. And yeah, these are some of the major use cases which like any of the Web3 platforms can easily adopt. The first one is gasless onboarding, which means like the user no need to pay the gas, and the platform like pays the gas fee for the user. And then there is something called session keys, like this especially for gaming. So which can like you can have a pre-approval for a predefined time. So as like the normal session keys, which will have a validity like either for 24 hours or like 48 hours based on your configuration, that can be done with the help of smart accounts. And yeah, DeFi automation, right? As we spoke, right? You can actually put your custom logics on the block on chain, like on the smart contracts, which means like you sell the token. This is like how you take the positions in the market, right? So you sell the tokens if the price drops below this particular E or like XDC. And then we have like the gaming applications, which especially this account abstraction, I would say like it's a very much suitable for a gaming application, because as a gamer, I don't want like the pop-ups, or I don't want to worry about the gas fee, but I just want to have the complete end-to-end process seamless. So this account abstraction, I think, is a boon for the gaming industry. And then we can have the subscription models, like you talk about Netflix. You can basically configure like I need to pay with USDC or any other tokens for my subscription, and that gets automatically detected based on your pre-approvals. So these are the major use cases I see which account abstraction can support, but there is a lot more the industry is adopting. Yeah, having walked through the demo, walked through the slides, I would like to give you a quick demo. So what we did at XDC Network is, so we have the account abstraction infrastructure provided by Etherspot, and also we have the wallet infrastructures provided by Web3 Auth and Magic Link. So these two are the main components for making any Web3 onboarding seamless. So what we did is we developed a utility in XDC Network, which is called XGate. So this is the repository. So XGate is a combination of both Web3 auth and account abstraction. So you will see on the, and we have like, this is open source and anyone can just clone it and try to run it. So when you actually see this in the demo, right? So you'll be able to understand like how you will not even feel this is like a Web3 platform. This will gives you a feel similar to a Web2 platform. So I'll just walk you through this demo. So this is like a what do you call, this is like a component which any of the dApps can integrate with. So consider like I have a gaming application which is developed on Web2, but when I migrate the same to Web3, so as we discussed, we need to have the wallet installed for the user. I need to have the seed phrases, I need to store the private keys. I need to have the gas and each and everything, right? But once you integrate this particular utility, which is a combination of Web3 auth and account abstraction by Etherspot, so you will see like how this feels. So as a user, I'm trying to log in. So now what happens? I no need to create any. I no need to have the MetaMask also. So I just going to sign up to this platform using my Google account, and you have Facebook, Discord, and you can just even use your phone numbers. And once you have this, in the behind what's happening, like behind the scenes, is basically Web3 auth is creating a wallet for you, and it stores all the private keys and everything for you in a safe and secure manner. And if you're just using Web3 auth without account abstraction, so again, this is the account which has been generated. That if you have not used Web3 auth, this account would have been generated when you install MetaMask. But as we integrated Web3 auth, you have this account now, which is like generated by Web3 auth. So which makes sure like you don't need to have your private keys or seed phrases safely and stored securely by yourself. But this particular component Web3 auth makes sure like it takes care of you, and more like it stores it in a more safe and encrypted manner. There are a lot of crypto algorithms they followed, and even some of them like split your private keys into different parts and store it in a different clouds. So that's how like they make the process completely secure. And as this utility has account abstraction installed, so what happens is this is kind of considered like a EOA address which has been generated by Web3 auth. And with account abstraction, we can generate any number of smart accounts for a particular EOA account. So for this particular EOA account, currently we have generated like 3 smart accounts. So let's consider this is the smart account we are going to use. And this platform will have a separate utility where you need to whitelist this particular address to be able to sponsor the gas fee. So that has been already done. So I'm going to just take a particular action. For example, you're on a platform and you want to mint ERC20 tokens. So I've just taken a simple example for you to understand and see like how things are working beneath, right? So what I'm going to do now is basically I'm going to just take any wallet address. I'm going to paste it here. Okay, before that, what I need to do is I need to check the balance of the smart account. Okay, so this is the account we are going to use to submit the transactions. So, okay, so you can see now the balance is 18.8180. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to submit mint ERC20 tokens. So which this smart account is going to submit. So let's use today's date is 29. So let's mint 290 tokens. So the first example you're going to see is going to use account abstraction, the smart accounts to submit your transactions, which you will see like when you submit a transaction, the MetaMask will no longer pop up. So with what you have done is so far you have given your EOA permissions to your smart accounts. Now smart accounts is going to submit any of your transactions on behalf of the EOA account. So which means you don't need to have to worry about like submitting or signing your transactions. So I'm going to mint simple ERC20 tokens. The first case I'm going to do is without the use of Paymaster. So which means like even though we are using account abstraction to submit the transaction, still this account is going to pay the gas fee. So now the balance of this account is 18.81. So I'm going to mint. So you can see there is no longer any pop-ups that you can see the transaction as we spoke about the user ops. So these are the user ops. You can see like similar to any ordinary transactions, you have the sender, you have the nonce. So you can see just in a matter of like 2 to 3 seconds, like with the speed of XDC network and account abstraction by Etherspot. So this has been completed even like within like 2 to 3 seconds. So just think like any of the platform integrate this utility to their application. So you're not going to face any kind of like a delay waiting for the like transactions to get completed. So you can see already the transaction is completed and the tokens are minted. So this you can see like visibly like how speed XDC network is like in processing the transaction, like the block time of 2 seconds, which we spoke about. So now you can see 290 tokens has been already minted to this address. And after which you're going to still check the balance of this particular account. Okay, you can see there is like a minimal amount of XDC has been detected from this account. So this example uses like smart accounts to submit the transaction, but without paymaster. So which means this particular address has paid for the transaction fee. I'm going to do the same action again with paymaster. So mint with smart account plus paymaster. So you're going to do the same action again now with help of paymaster. So you're going to submit the transaction. So just for the simplicity of understanding, I have taken this example of minting a ERC tokens, but this can be any action on any platform. Like this is like a simple transaction to the blockchain. So this can be like any of the actions you're doing with on the blockchain. So I have submitted the for the approval. So the user ops has been done. So it's just waiting for the paymaster to complete it. So it's done now. So we just want to verify the transaction. So you have all the details out there. You can see in 6 seconds, like you have submitted this transaction 6 seconds ago, and this is completed, and 290 tokens have been already minted. So now that's now there's the interesting part. So this is a smart account. Okay, just for you to make sure, I will check the balance now. Hopefully it gives me the right answer. Okay, so this is the new balance. So you can see the balance is the same. So which means the user no longer have paid the gas fee, and the particular gas fee for this transaction has been already paid by the paymaster. So what as a platform, what I need to do is I need to host my paymaster, and I need to like credit that with fund it with a specific amount of XDC tokens. The beauty here is like even with one XDC tokens, you can do like hundred thousands of transactions based on the gas fee of the network. So which means like even if we have like based on a user base and the volume of transactions you're doing, you can fund the paymaster with a specific amount of XDC tokens, and this has been already paid by the paymaster. So you can ask the question like why I need to like sponsor it for my user. The answer is like just to make their user experience seamless. So like you can get like more option to your platform compared to any other platform that requires to have like native tokens for the gas fee. But you're not going to leave it with that. What you're going to do is like anyways you will be collecting a transactions fee from the user, so you're going to compensate from that. As a user, like I'm going to pay XDC tokens as a transaction fee, you're going to collect like a few percentage of that from the user as a transaction fee, but at the same time you're going to pay the gas fee on their behalf. So I think this would have given you a good understanding like how account abstraction actually powers and like helping the user onboarding experience more seamless. So I think that's a quick and short demo I had just for you to make you understand the flow. And yeah, this utility, as I mentioned, is like open source, and anyone can like free to like clone it and run it on your local. And so we have like xdc.dev where we have a lot of articles account abstraction about that. So you can just have a look, and if you have any queries like you're facing when you're integrating account abstraction onto your application, so you can feel free to leave it on your this forum, and we have like more than 2 to 3K active community members who are happy to help you out. And yeah, I think that's it from my side. So a quick understanding about the account abstraction and a short demo. So please feel free to follow this particular link to get up any tech or any updates from the network side. So I think I would now see if there is any quick questions. Otherwise, I would like to hand over the mic to Nikhil, him to walk through about account abstraction by EtherSpot and yeah, their developments.